necessity to work well on the platform and what to do if something goes wrong. And research, next slide please. The research project 3, that is the aim of the project was to explore students' meta-reflection on their own learning potential during synchronized hybrid learning. To what extent the teaching of narrative writing using digital technology supports them, their learning of inherited language and influences their learning of creative writing. The research question were: does the technology support learning environment, motivate students to engage in the creative writing process? Does the synchronous hybrid environment contribute to the understanding of their narrative and in particular to the understanding of its structural elements and help students produce better narrative texts? Whatever the environment serves to develop social communication. The research group, next slide please. The research group consists of group of 17 students from the Polish school at the Polish Embassy in London and 5 students from Wellington College in UK. A creative writing project using the full digital storytelling process lasted 8 weeks. The task was to write my scary story. Platform use included Blendspay, Miroboard, Storyboard, Movie Maker. And next slide, please. In the study conducted in a group of learners of Polish and as an heritage language, I aim to improve students' vocabulary and creative writing performance through the use of synchronous and asynchronous digital storytelling lesson, which activated and sustained intrinsic motivation to train them to write. But what is a digital storytelling? Next slide, please. Digital storytelling, that is more advanced storytelling when we combine music, video, images, that we are combine all multimedia, all ICT tools, and we build nice digital storytelling. Synchronous digital storytelling lesson in the classroom on online have been used to achieve deeper conceptual coverage and interaction with peers, while the asynchronous lessons were mainly devoted to individual independent learning, script writing and revision to ensure learning based on mastery of the material. Accordingly, we explore the reflection of the experience of learning to write creatively through synchronous and asynchronous learning activities. And next slide, please. Next slide, please. And now it's the whole process, how you write digital storytelling. We use this blend space when students started their first lesson with digital storytelling. And next slide, please. After you work on Miro, on this application, they had all guidelines about how we can write stories about structure of stories and also about the main characters. Next slide, please. But still we see the process of narrative writing. Next slide, please. And when the student are adding the images. Next slide, please. And now we see more advanced work. Next slide, please. And when we are working in this way, teachers still see each student's work, and this work we see during lesson and after lesson we also is all time active. Could please next slide? And this is in place when they finish their narration, they can put in the movie maker, and also after they have presentation. And next slide, please. After completing the creative writing training program, I collected data on the views and perspective of the participating students. The result of the self-report questionnaire showed that students positively evaluated the learning of creative writing with the digital storytelling method during the hybrid learning activities in most respects, although they also found some limitation. Next slide, please. And here we see all the response. Only one student were unhappy. 24 students, they know they like learning vocabulary and they feel the creative writing lesson, the creative writing skills was improved. They find this lesson as funny, competitive, motivated. They think it is a beneficial practice. And also, they say, we believe that I'm learning new skills. I have learned in new way, new application, and writing has become more attractive. Only for one student that was too difficult. 24 of them, they said, I like writing class because it's interactive and sense of community and changes of idea for success. But as we see on presentation, mostly all of them are really happy and they see how this is working for them and how this is useful for them. And also, some of them said that it was too difficult, but was waste of time. We see that only 2 students said that because that was too time-consuming. And in general, student reflection advantages. Synchronous interaction can help to avoid miscommunications. Students have immediate feedback. Students find it easier to focus. Most are happy with their learning. The flexibility provided by this method is appreciated. Time saving was indicated as a benefit, travel, commute, chatter disturbances. Student reflection disadvantages. Some students find it easier to speak up in a traditional classroom. Some students felt they would receive more individual support from their teacher in a traditional classroom. A common comment is that difficulty is forming a relationship with their peers. The model of student reflection, next slide please. Next slide. Next. Thank you. The model of student reflection identifies digital storytelling as an element that links student technological skills with subject knowledge and learning strategies. For example, the ability to learn. This consists with the PAC model. In summary, digital storytelling applied during synchronous hybrid lesson requires students to use ICT in the educational process, which influences and increases motivation to learn. Students had positive views about the synchronous hybrid learning with ideas for improvement. Students seem to enjoy and benefit significantly from the elements such as audio, video, or animation, cultural themes, interaction, and competition, curiosity, recognition, and control, all of which were shown to be effective in gathering learner attention and helping them stay focused. Students also appreciate the independence facilitated by being in their own space and using their devices. Furthermore, they regarded digital storytelling as a beneficial and useful platform to efficiently practice skills such as speaking, writing, word learning, and strategies including exam preparation, visual memory, information, memorization, background activation, and provocative thinking.
I wanna love you, my baby.
Learning is most fruitful when it's activated, problem-based, experiential, requiring higher order thinking, and providing immediate feedback. Students in our context got the opportunity to practice all such higher order skills in a relaxed atmosphere with their peers under the supervision of their teacher. It is important to state that no matter the geographical distance, synchronous hybrid learning gathers students together. Hence, some students have difficulties in the traditional classroom. They are introverted by nature, so the environment they are in their homes makes them feel more comfortable, less stressed. Building on the current study, future research could investigate the impact of using synchronous hybrid teaching on learning and on student performance and achievement. Finally, the study was conducted and in a single institution in one country, but its findings are relevant to the wider audience receiving a variety of languages courses and training to become proficient language users. In addition, the result of the current study could guide all the parties involved in the decision-making processes of any teaching learning setting, including students, instructors, teachers, curriculum developers, as well as the professional and administration in such institution. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dorota, for your talk. And we have pretty much time, 10 minutes allocated for this talk and discussion. So let's see your hands. I see one question.
I was wondering if part of the research was also taking into account or reflecting or considering different access to tools that they can use as students at home. So maybe somebody has low quality tools, maybe somebody has better, and if that was reflected in the classroom environment and dynamic.
We made this research part of classroom, part on, and that was point, all of the students had the same access to the application and tools. And of course on the beginning the skills, using the skills was different, but during this project the skills improved, and that was also a plus for them, and they were happy with it.
Okay, thank you. My question will follow yours.
Thank you very much. I wanted to ask, at the beginning you showed us the percentage of the teachers who had experience with no experience in learning. Was it before pandemic or after?
After 2 months in pandemic. That shows how we learn a lot during this pandemic and after pandemic.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mutumal Marangu.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It's very educational. I'd like to ask your presentation with Mr. Roman's presentation. Ask the combination of, which I found interesting, about how people learn. People are not reading as much anymore. They are learning through visual understanding faster. And I was taken by Mr. Roman's presentation, which noted that, I think you mentioned MIT had said 80-some% are absorbing things, people absorb images rather than reading. My question to you is, what ultimately do you see as the future of storytelling in that context? Is it going to be storytelling through reading or through visual representations, or a combination of both?
the storytelling help improve all 4 skills in languages for them. They can improve the reading, writing, speaking, and also communicative social science aspect as well. Because in this process we involve all our skills, what is very important, and I think that is open future for us, and that is very motivated method for teaching language.
Patrick Doyle.
The both. They need the digital storytelling needs this inspiration as images and music, and after this inspiration you can build the story.
Seems like a normal sort of bloke.
Family really proud.
One remark only, because storytelling is usually regarding, not many people. When you are adding pictures or images or videos, so more are involved. More information is staying with more people. Thank you.
If I manage to get through the 8 days, then I think I'll have an inner peace. Well, I hope.
Dorota, what about possibilities of kinesthetic storytelling? Like
joining Callum off the run is recruit number 1,
visuals,
Naval Cadet Lawrence.
Kinesthetic qualities.
This is also very useful. I'm doing those during our classes in lesson class. When we use pantomimes, when we use movement, this is excellent. But we can do this when we have online lesson. Maybe we can improve, we can add this. But I know the kinesthetic, the pantomime is really helping, because more engaged students, it's storytelling.
That's what I think, that this can be very inspiring for all our partners who use VR and design as such environments, that can, enrich you the program with kinesthetic qualities.
Yes, when we go in SIT class academy, we can move, and I'm sure that it's really engagement, could be really engagement for students. They can be really happy with this.
Yes, this of course in that situation too, both even on Second Life. In Second Life it is somehow possible, it's like by suggestion maybe, but in Altspace for sure.
Could you repeat, please?
I mean that in different environments it can work different, but even in such, let's say, old school, closer, okay. Even in such old-fashioned environment as Second Life, it's possible through suggestion, because it's a suggestion that something happens with your avatar. But I think in VR situations, like those presented by Christos yesterday, it's kind of appealing to haptic qualities in a certain way. So maybe you will benefit from that too.
Yes, of course, I agree with you, because we can work together and build more advanced digital storytelling place.
I think the discussion will continue during the coffee break. Thank you so much, Dorota, for your talk.
Thank you.
So let me announce this is the end of the morning sessions, but we will meet again in 25 minutes, if possible. In the meantime, please enjoy your coffee break. And there's another announcement. In the corridor of the building, there's a poster presentation by Tiago Mindrico, dealing with ludic hybrid experiences in education, which skills can transmedia game-based learning projects teach us. So feel free to ask Tiago about his poster. He would be just happy to reply to your questions. See you soon. Thank you so much.